Today I'm going to show you how to do weird stuff in Photoshop, like this. Welcome back, everybody. This is Ed from Dodging Karma Design, where designs become graphic. I've been a designer for over 15 years, and I thank each and every one of you for showing up every week as I try to impart little pearls of wisdom in an entertaining way about all the different Adobe Suite things or Photoshop things or photography things or all the things that you need in order to make cool things, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. Keeping in the theme of October and being all spooky and creepy and jazz, that is what we're going to keep doing. Today, I'm going to show you how to melt some people's faces or give them those big anime eyes or, battle angel it up or whatever you really want to do. Because once you learn how to use this little tool, you're going to have a lot of fun making your friends or yourself just look really weird. And what better time of the year to make yourself look weird or spooky or creepy than Halloween? Today we're going to be looking at the Liquify tool, where we can take an image and liquefy it. And it sounds it's pretty much exactly as it sounds. So what the Liquify tool does is basically it kind of puts a mesh or a grid underneath your image. And anything you move, it remembers where those pixels were moving. And then it just keeps it that way. So it stretches pixels, pulls pixels, make things bigger, smaller, disproportionate, make things look just creepy, weird, and all Quasimodo'd. So you come up with some really weird images. So just in case you're following along at home, I need you to know that I'm using Adobe Photoshop CC 2019 on a PC. Let's pop over to Photoshop and I'll show you how we do it. Now we're here in Photoshop and this is a dude, a basic dude. It's got a basic dudeness about him. When you put an image into Photoshop, it always shows up locked. Instead of unlocking it, all you need to do is hit Control J and that will add it to its own layer. I always like to keep it back up just because things get cattywampus or weird, and sometimes you just want to just flip the whole table and say I'm starting over, and that's what the backup's for. So let's just go ahead and do that. So this, I guess, hit the eyeball to make sure that's off because it's irrelevant, and we keep this one on. Now what I want to show you is we're going to right click and go to convert to smart object. When you convert something to a smart object in Photoshop, what it does is it pretty much puts it in a box. And that little box has the original untouched, unblemished image on it. And everything you change is going to be changed visually. You can see it, but it's not actually messing up the original image. It's a non-destructive way of doing things, and you want to get into the habit of doing things non-destructively, because if you're just deleting pixels and cutting things out, you're always going to wind up in a position where you wish you didn't do that, and there's going to be no way to fix it. And that's why I like using smart objects for almost everything. So in order to open up the Liquify tool, we're going to hit Control-Shift-X, and we wait a second. And now we are in the Liquify tool. You'll see right up here, Liquify. And you'll notice that there's different options, all these different brushes on the side and all these different properties on the right. I'm gonna minimize them all so we can go through most of them. We're not gonna go through all of them. You can do a lot with this program, but I just wanna show you how to have fun. Now we have our subject in our Liquify tool. I actually took the liberty of closing all of these properties, just minimizing them so you don't get overwhelmed, because everything is just splayed out in front of you, just like pick something, and it's a little overwhelming, so don't worry about it. Now before you do anything, I want you to make sure that you're on the forward warp tool, which is also the hotkey of W, as it states right there. You can walk over here, and I want you to keep this panel open at all times. This is the brush tool options. This will control the size of your brush. Again, it's smaller. Also able to be done with the left bracket and the right bracket. And if you look over here, we also have a density. I'll show you what full density does. Just take a look at his face right here. Just take a zoom in right here. I'm just gonna click once and I'm gonna pull to the right. See? Control Z. Now we're going to do the density all the way to the left. We're going to drop the density down to 0. Let's do this again. Watch what happens. Smaller. It's almost like here's the brush, but here, right in the middle, here, it's almost like saying here's the brush, but when the density is real small, this area right here, this is the where the magic happens. I don't know what to call it. This is like the tip. With a P. Tip. It's a gray card. I use it for white balance and photography. And now let's just hit Control Z. So now we're gonna let's keep the density right about in the middle, and pressure. Now again, pressure, we're going to all the way hardcore to the right. We do it again. How everything kind of sticks to that middle point. It's almost like the inner diameter of the outer diameter of the brush. It's almost like a mid diameter, but it's literally the pressure you would put. So if you were like finger painting, you could and do all that. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. So we're gonna keep that in the middle, and that's all you need to worry about right now. But one other thing I want to tell you is if you're playing around with making a bunch of messes, you're gonna see this. See this border line right here? This is the edge of the photo. You're gonna watch this, watch. And we have our transparent grid coming through. Transparent grid will mean when we hit OK and it finalizes the smart object, it will look exactly like this, transparency intact. Let's hit Control Z to back out of this. Now if you hit over here, you hit pin edges, what happens is you can do that all day long. Ain't gonna move a dang thing. See this? See? You punch this guy in the face from the left and give him some lefts. Give him some, and then see, nothing changes. See, nothing changes. The sides are pinned to the outside of the canvas, so you will not have any of those transparent pixels bleeding in. That's all you need to really worry about at this moment. Now, what I want to show you is, let's say you mess his face up again, and I know I just Control Z'd and I'm going to mess his face up again just to show you, but I like messing his face up. So let's just do that. Oh boy, that's weird. Okay, so we're going to move over here, and the second tool is going to be the Reconstruction Tool, or you can hit R on as a hotkey. So if you hit R as a hotkey and you're like, you know, I really want this eye to not be so long and ew, it will actually back it up from the point that you made it to the original image. So when you start to paint back onto here, just like a couple of clicks here and there, a couple of there, and it will eventually go right back into the original spot when you made it, which in this case just made it more hideous. The next tool we have down here is going to be the Smooth Tool. Basically what it does is if you have something that's completely messed up, it's like micro fixing and making it look smoother, so it will basically come across like I actually meant his face to be out here, you know? The next one below that is just a couple of fun effects, like here's the Twirl, and it says here, if you look closely, it says Twirl Clockwise Tool. Now let's just left bracket to get onto his left eye. And if you just start tapping it, you'll notice he starts to turn his eye clockwise. But just like many other tools in Photoshop, if you hit Alt, it does the opposite. So if you hit Alt, it will actually make it go counterclockwise. Reconstruct. Okay, so now they have that. That's what the Twirl tool does. It's pretty self-explanatory. Then we have the Pucker tool. What the Pucker tool is it takes an entire area and then crushes those pixels. It makes it smaller. It contracts everything. So click here, and we're going to go on his nose. I'm just going to start tapping it here, and you'll see now he has just this little tiny button nose, and he just looks like all the cutest little button noses, man, in the world. I am seriously tired, and I need to shave. And you get to the Pucker tool by hitting S. We could also go to the Bloat tool, which you can imagine does the exact opposite and make things bigger. Now you could also get to that by hitting the Pucker tool and hitting Alt and then doing it, or the Bloat tool and hitting Alt and then puckering it. So wherever you want to bloat and pucker or make things fatter or smaller and blah, 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 blah. To save time, if you're already on the tool, you can always hit Alt and do the opposite. But just for sake of continuity, we're going to go back down here, Bloat tool. And we're going to go ahead and, since we have his tiny little nose, let's give him some Kardashian lips. But we'll go ahead and do this. and starting to become nightmare fuel. Now there are other tools there for push left tool. There's masking that you can do. You could freeze parts of the face and manipulate others. You can just have a whole lot of fun simply in the Liquify tool itself. But I want to go over to the other side of the row here. So it's underneath your brush tool options, you can click Face Aware Liquify. And what Face Aware Liquify will give you is, if you see Face Aware Liquify and it says select face, face 1, it will try and detect the face in the image. So just like in photography, you have that face tracking or face autofocus. It recognizes all the key points that generally make up a face, and what it has here is you can manipulate it. It'll automatically assign left eye, right eye, nose, mouth, smile, all that, and it'll automatically assign points onto the image, and then you could just play with the sliders. Watch. So here's the face here, and if I look over here, you'll see on this, the left side says eye size, and then there's a box with the value of 0 in the middle with the slider, and there's a chain, like a chain link, which, as we know, will link these two. And since this is on the left, this is going to be our model, our subject's left eye, and on the right would be the subject's right eye. So we're going to go ahead, and it would be his right eye, but okay, we're going to move the left eye. We're going to move this eye, whatever. So watch. I'm not mad. What are you talking about? Anyway, so you can do that. Then you take the left eye, and then you take the other eye, and with this other eye, you can make it do nasty, weird things. And if you just happen to click this link in the middle, it will do it to both eyes. And the eyes are the window to the soul. This guy has huge windows. Because now that you have it all the way to the right and give him those big anime eyes, we can now click the link in between this and connect both left and right eye height. So we can do the slider on either one of these and make it bigger. See? We can do it again for eye width. With the eye tilt, if you want to make him look adorable or evil or however. You even separate the distance between the eyes. So now this is all maxed out to the right with the eyes. We can go back down to the nose, and the nose would be, if you want to make his nose a little higher, make his nose a little lower. The nose width is going to be wider, smaller, wider, smaller. Now here's where it gets a little fun and creepy. You can make him smile, and that's the next one down here. This whole section is for options for the mouth. Mouth, let's just go ahead and give him a little smile. Now he's staring at you with his big bug eyes. You can go the other way too. He looks like he's sad that you threw away his bugs. You also affect his upper lip and his lower lip and his mouth width. Width. You should like and subscribe. Or his height of the mouth, which doesn't always track well. In this photo, it doesn't really. There's also face shape. You can look around and see his forehead. You can play around with this. You could basically genuinely, ladies, if you've never seen your man genuinely interested in what you're saying, you can just take a photo of him and then do this. Just ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, tell me more. Tell me more about your cat. You know, whatever. There's also a chin height. Like this gentleman has a kind of pronounced chin. You can make it smaller. Now he kind of looks like he's trying to con you into buying a lot of chocolate bars so his class can go to Paris. Now the jawline, let's just leave that. Let's leave the chin height in the middle. If you go to the jawline, you could slim up his face that way, or you can make it a little bit more beefy. And then there's the jaw width, the jaw width, the face width. You can make them younger, bigger. All these little micro changes just from this one panel alone is an incredibly powerful tool. And you hit OK, and he's imported, and you see the before, and then the after. Oh my God. Ooh, yeah. As far as things like coloring tone values, that's another lesson altogether. Today we're just playing with the Liquify tool. Now there's going to be some images that the Liquify tool cannot find the face for, and that's generally going to be for things like this. Kitties and puppies. They don't have the same type of face. Face is cuter. Here, the face aware Liquify is no faces detected. Kitty face. I'm gonna take a little furry subject and I'm just gonna play with it a little bit, and I'm gonna show you exactly what we can do. So now I hope you feel confident enough to go into Photoshop and play with the Liquify tool and see what weird things you can do to your friends and family or yourself, which was an experience. Alright, I know I said I like Halloween and all, but I work like 50 hours a week, and I have clients on top of that, and I'm doing YouTube, which is no easy feat. That light started flickering like something off of Stranger Things a few minutes ago, and I'm hearing weird ass noises, and I'm assuming that my upstairs neighbors are teaching a plyometrics class. So I'm exhausted, so bear with me if I'm a little bit all over the place. So that is it for us for today. I want to let you know that we're so close to getting 100 subscribers, and with 100 subscribers, I can get away from the alphabet soup that YouTube gives you, because when you first start a channel, it's just like, your YouTube channel is, you know, youtube.com/, and, you know, numbers and letters and symbols and blood rights and all this other crazy stuff. And I hope to, by the end of October, to have enough subscribers to get out of that funk. So if you know anybody who's into Photoshop design or might find me somewhat entertaining, that would be awesome too. It's a like and share, and make sure you share with your like-minded friends. I also have a Facebook and Instagram and Etsy and a TeePublic. All of those will be linked in the description. And if you do purchase anything, all those proceeds go directly back into making the channel better for lights that aren't super creepy. Sound, audio, visual, things like that. But again, we're very close, and that's how we build a community. But nonetheless, I do appreciate each and every single one of you. It's like I get messages, I get comments in the comments section, I get people hitting me up on my Instagram and Facebook. You guys are just fantastic, and I think I'm going to keep doing this for a while, or at least until I run out of ideas. I'll leave my email in the description if you want to go ahead and show me what crazy liquefied things you've done. So go out there, have fun, scare the normies, and most importantly, remember, be good or good at it. That's new.